Hey guys, this is Chla-smitty-a bringing you another game of COD Black Ops. I'm playing Domination. We're playing on Grid, one of my favorite maps, and I think I'm using the Silence Galil, but none of that is important. You know, I end up having a pretty decent game. I get two sets of dogs, which do absolutely nothing for me, but I've been asked by some of my listeners to go ahead and, instead of talking about gameplay, because you guys have seen my gameplay, you know my style, instead of talking about that, you have requested, and this actually came from 3 or 4 people, you requested some funny stories, some anecdotes from my life. Now granted, I'm only 30 years old, just turned 30, so I haven't seen everything and done everything like some of the other commentators that we have that are 45, 50 years old plus, but I do have a few interesting stories, and today the one I'm going to tell you, it's from about I'd say about 10 years ago, and it was let's see, I was dating a girl. I'd been dating her for 7 or 8 months. It was a pretty serious thing. She kept stuff at my apartment. I kept stuff at her apartment. She would answer my phone when people called. She knew my parents. I mean, it was a serious relationship. And the story I'm going to tell is actually, it's somewhat embarrassing, but it's not. First things first, you guys need to understand, when I was in college, I had a lot of transgressions, as Tiger Woods would say. I wasn't the most faithful guy in the world, and by that I mean I would fuck anything that moved. I had standards. I was always protected and whatnot, but I was with this girl for quite a while, and hadn't really done anything like that for a pretty lengthy period of time. It was a few months prior to meeting her that I kind of changed my ways a little bit. But one day I was at work and I received a phone call from my girlfriend, and she was at the apartment, and said she had just received a call from somebody who refused to say who she was, refused to say who she was calling from, only that she was looking for me. So immediately the first thing that I thought was, oh shit, I have a kid somewhere. Thank God that's not what happened. But the next day, I actually took the day off from work, hoping this lady would call back. And sure enough, she did. And I was there in the house, in the apartment, all by myself. And she said, Mr. Smith, obviously, this is Chla-smitty-a, my last name is Smith. She says, I believe, we have reason to believe that you've been exposed to chlamydia. And my first reaction, and this is exactly what I said to her, was, who the fuck are you, and how the hell did you get my phone number? And she said, well, I can't tell you, because of patient confidentiality, I can't tell you who told us you've been exposed to it, but I can tell you we found your phone number in the phone book. So I said, okay, why would you think that I have chlamydia? And then immediately I'm thinking, oh shit, I have chlamydia. She said, well, this woman came in and she has been exposed to it, so we're getting her treated, and she said she's been with you within the last few months. And I said, well, that's impossible. The only sexual partner that I've had is my girlfriend, and I've been with her for quite a lengthy period of time. It was about 9 months. Maybe it was even closer to a year. And she said, well, I understand that, but you need to come in and get tested anyway, because chlamydia can lay dormant for up to 6 months. So I said, well, I don't think you understand what I just said. I haven't been with anybody besides my girlfriend for over a year. And she said, well, just to be safe anyway, come in, we need to get you tested. So I said, you do realize in Waterville, Maine, which is where I lived, a small, city-esque, not quite a city, for Maine. I said, you realize in Waterville, Maine, there are 6 separate Josh Smiths. I'm the only one listed in the phone book. And she said, and I quote, oh my God, I have the wrong person, I'm sorry, and hung up on me. So immediately I call back and proceed to give her probably 10 or 15 minutes of some of the most grotesque, nasty, just disrespectful drivel that I can think of, because I am so pissed. For 10 or 15 minutes of having a conversation with this lady, I'm thinking I have an STD, which I realize it's treatable. It's not like AIDS. Still, thinking that I have chlamydia was the grossest, nastiest thing that I have ever experienced in my life. Now, and like I said, I had standards. I slept around, to put it mildly, but I always did. How can I put this? I always did better than I should have done. Meaning, I'm a dude that's 5'9". I've always weighed between 220 and 270 pounds. So I'm a pretty thick dude, and some of the girls that I got were certainly out of my league, and people are going to say, well, there is no such thing as league. If you've got a good personality and chicks dig you, then that's that. There are leagues, okay? Believe me, there are leagues, and the women that I was with were definitely out of my league. Now, I don't want to sit here and pretend that I've been with 20 or 30 women. That's not the impression I'm trying to leave on you guys. What I'm trying to do is explain that my funny story, a lady calling me up and telling me I have chlamydia only to turn out to be wrong, shouldn't happen to anybody else because it sucks. I know there are a lot of younger guys out there that watch these Call of Duty videos that are in high school, entering high school, or entering college, and it's a completely different world, guys. It's freedom. You're going to have access to things that you don't have access to at home. By that, I mean vagina. And the one thing that I really need to stress, and I went through a period where I thought the easiest way to get girls was to be a complete asshole. And it worked, but a few years later, and now, I'll explain why I'm saying this. A few years later, I'm understanding that it's not the way you're supposed to treat women. I actually ended up calling up a girl that I had been seeing for a while prior to meeting my wife, and actually had to apologize for the way that I treated her. And she never complained to me. She never told my friends I was a bad guy or anything like that. But nonetheless, I mean, I guess my conscience got the better of me. And the reason of bringing this up, and this is what I wanted to mention, is my wife is moments from telling me, hey, let's go to the hospital. I'm going to give birth to our baby girl. Obviously, that changes the way you think about things, and I'm glad I made peace with the girls that I kind of screwed over in the past, because had I not, I would probably have some pretty shitty karma headed my way in the next couple of days, maybe next few years. So, that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed my story. It certainly is a funny story because it wasn't true. But hopefully, for anybody out there watching, listening, it never happens to you, because it's probably one of the scariest things that you're ever going to go through. So anyway, guys, the game is winding down here. I just got my second pair of dogs. You can see I don't get a lot of kills. I only take 3 deaths. But overall, pretty good game. We win. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care.